We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ulti TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and fund our work
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Quick sprints, take the disc briskly, sunshine glints off my frisbee crisply, knows how it goes with the sand between our toes. We got both of the pivots and all of the throws. Got to hold the disc and move it at the right time. When you flick your wrist and you're feeling sublime, compose your throws, not discuss fluttery, tricks from the brick and your biscuits buttery. Feel the spirit, stretch every sinew, stream in courage, yeah, we continue. Take my hand, yeah, come with me, from the disc to the sand, to the beach, to the sea. There's magic in the air. All you have to do is catch it. EBUCC 2022.
Welcome back to EBUCC right here on the Algarve in Portugal, and we are in open division quarter-final spots between defending silver medalists Fendisc from Santander in Spain and FREEZZZBEZZ from Belgium. And I'm Tom Stiles. Alongside me is Benji Rees, and it's nice to be here at the action end of the tournament.
It is indeed. For Fendisc, given, as you mentioned, silver medalist last time out, the Universe point loss to Real 5, maybe thinking, what are they doing playing in a pre-quarters matchup? And it's a fair cop, and, you know, 4 wins from 5 from the pool, but a sudden death loss to Salaspils means that they've got to fight their way up through the bracket, and a pre-quarters encounter against FREEZZZBEZZ is their first task.
They were feeling fairly confident about the game coming into this, so we'll see how it goes. FREEZZZBEZZ start with the opening possession of the game, and it's in the hands of Dubain. Swings it across to Davala. Davala looking for options and finds Stevens cutting from the backfield. There's a deep option available, not looked off. Sprint down the line, collects in pace. Davala looks deep, and a big hand comes in from Spiegelholz, and he takes the disc to the turf. The Austrian making a difference here, but the immediate reaction is a slightly hasty throw. Pedro Vasquez, the target, disappears into the sand, and FREEZZZBEZZ get another opportunity. FREEZZZBEZZ, Lemaitre, Davala. Static downfield, but there's a good break cut up the line, but it's gone around anyway. Dabana across the field, perfectly weighted. There was 2 FREEZZZBEZZ players waiting for them, but Raven Lemaitre was the one that came down with the disc opening hold, but a bit of a messy one, Benji. Yeah,
Fendisc got the tone that they wanted, but gave it right back to them. They can't really afford to be that profligate if they want to go deep in the tournament, and eventually the Belgians from FREEZZZBEZZ, coming out of Bruges, made them pay.
Let's have a look at that again.
Or not?
We will in a minute, I'm sure.
Yeah, interestingly, here we go. That's the turnover that Spiegelholz was right there. I'm not entirely sure what FREEZZZBEZZ were looking at. But then that one, despite the trailing edge layout attempt from Pedro Vasquez, unable to be reeled in. Lovely break all the way across the field. Outstretched arm from Merlin Debang. And then blading that one into the end zone for the score to Lemaitre. As you mentioned, yeah, Fendisc based in Spain, Santander, but with a little bit of international seasoning, I shall say. We'll talk more about this after that point.
Fendisc on their opening offensive point. They've already seen a bit of the disc. Can they put this one in nice and smooth? that sudden death loss to Salaspils does kind of signal the strength that this team has. High level. And it's in the hands of Spiegel now. Centers it to Ruben San Jose and spins it into the end zone. It's Etumendi with the goal.
Eton Mendy's played a lot of Ultimate in the UK, playing at Loughborough University. Hayes and coming as well, playing through Deep Space and Smash D as well. But yeah, represented Spain at juniors and now at senior level as well. But you mentioned there a couple of non-Spanish names. We've mentioned one of the Austrian pair, Alexander Sparlholz, along with Jan Novak, so some big bodies coming over from Vienna, and German World Games player Bastian Spiegel as well. Not a bad addition to your roster, I think.
I thought he looked familiar. Was he on the final roster?
He was. Number 5, Sebastian Spiegel.
Benji's encyclopedic knowledge of World Ultimates.
I try. Yeah, he's not actually based in Germany so much anymore. I think he's based in the Middle East somewhere. But yeah, a strong player, and evidently, if you're living in that part of the world, you're probably adept and used to playing on beach. And clearly, Fendisc aside that attracting top talent for this, hopefully a quest to go one better than they did last time out.
FREEZZZBEZZ now working the disc up the line. A big bid was required. Disappears just ahead of the outstretched fingertips into the sand, and an opportunity.
Stephen's got hands to it, just couldn't quite close them.
Gainer down the line, but not connecting here, and FREEZZZBEZZ with another opportunity. The second time this has happened, where FREEZZZBEZZ have given up possession and Fendisc have given it them right back. The D-line need to be a bit more efficient. Again, leading the receiver into the end zone, and this time Stevens overthrowing the receiver.
Yeah, a little bit of sloppiness from both sides here. You wonder if it's bracket play nerves or just maybe adjusting perhaps the conditions slightly different on the showcase fields to how they would be elsewhere, because the stands and the tents provide a little bit more cover and shelter and turn it into a bit of a wind tunnel.
So 3 turnovers in this point already. And Fendisc looking now an opportunity to get the break. Can they be a bit more efficient? Sparlholz gets it around to Diego Lorenzo Jimenez. Well, that was bizarre. He threw the disc behind the receiver. The receiver didn't even know it was coming. The chemistry for Fendisc is completely absent at the moment.
Yeah, sometimes you do see this. You get a little bit of trouble trying to integrate your pickups with your more usual roster. Obviously, Sparlholz and Novak will have played together a little bit for Austria, even though coming from other sides of Vienna. Sparlholz playing for the Big Easy and Novak for forward. And again, FREEZZZBEZZ unable to capitalise with the life they've been given.
And that time the block came in the end zone. Big high touch was required. These two teams at the moment having a little bit of a competition to see who can turn the disc over more in these first 3 points of the game.
So there's a big deep look for Fendisc.
Great grab just near the end zone, jumps it in, almost misses the grab and the line, but eventually the assist does make it in there. The assist from the 23 shirt of Jan Novak, and picking himself out of the sand. The goal from David Camozo.
Yeah, Chamizo with the score there for the Spaniards. And as well as talking about the additions, one notable player who doesn't seem to be out there for them is the number 43, who I just remember 4 years ago being so impressed with, Juan Carlos Fernandez Troyano. Haven't seen him here so far this week, so I'm not sure whether he's injured or just hasn't been able to arrive yet. Apparently he has played one game, but I wonder if that's just that they didn't report that he wasn't there. So that is a big loss for a Fendisc side that still poses a lot of strength in depth.
Well, this doesn't look, I mean, we've seen Salaspils play twice on the stream already, and I'm sure we'll see them again. This Fendisc side at the moment, on the current form, doesn't look like a side that would be able to push them to sudden death, but that is the story of the tournament so far. And FREEZZBEZZ coming back down here now. Lasered one across the end zone. A little bit sloppy in the mid-afternoon. Both these teams not making the best start to this game.
I mean, that is an ambitious throw from FREEZZBEZZ. I think the plan was to maybe just to get it sit there, maybe put a bit of inside-out shape on it to bring it slightly back in. But even if the throw had been executed to perfection, the receiver just wasn't looking there at all.
No, perhaps he should have been, but given that he wasn't, throwing the disc to him, not a good look. 2-1 the score. Fendisc capitalising with a break on that third point of the game. And now a chance to take another break here. With the disc, it's Novak. And Novak sets off to the end zone. Can he be found? No. The handler's not sending it just yet. Pressure underneath, but Gonzalez stays with it. Vasquez. Novak. Oh, cheeky Scuba opens up the field. Now there's space on the inside. Sparholz. Back to Novak. Novak into the end zone. Runs down. Pedro Vasquez with the goal.
Well, whatever was ailing the Fendisc offense in the first couple of points didn't seem to be a problem there. Calmly marched it up. A little bit of creativity at times, especially from Novak. First with a raking inside backhand, and then with that Scuba over the top. Both good ways of accessing that far side of the field. Yeah, if Fendisc can get things locked in, they are certainly a force to be reckoned with, I promise you that. Do you want to know what's going on in the other open pre-quarters?
Yes, tell us who's in the other pre-quarters and how they're going, Benji.
Kraken are 2-1 up on Mighty Hucks, having just broken there to take the lead. Ray Flying Oysters of France up 4-1 on the Flying Angels of Bern, and Sandjob leading 2-1 over Show Me Them TDs. I know, the Irish, right? In an all-Irish affair.
Yes, it's two filthy puns playing against each other.
I mean, would we expect anything less from Ireland? I don't know if we would.
Living up to the stereotype. FREEZZBEZZ down here looking to re-establish some sort of clarity with their offense. That's nice, there's a lot of space, but a good switch off, early call, and then checked from the run of Davala, creates the space. They've got good position on the field already, and a big bash on the mark from the 20 shirt of Iker de Prado. We're chatting to Iker and some of the other Fendisc team before about the situation in Santander. Nice lefty release to find a space, but that's picked off in the end zone. Great awareness. And Fendisc with the disc.
Yeah, San Jose head on a swivel. And as soon as there's a bit of float, they're able to gobble it up. And what a snatch that is for the bookends.
Brilliant. Ruben San Jose coming out of the end zone and grabbing the block for the goal, and then sprinting the length of the field and proving what a useful player he is. I was just explaining about the situation in Santander. Fendisc used to have regular weekly practices, but now they've really not managed to keep that many players in the town regularly playing. So they're not able to practice as a team anymore. This very much relying on experience and the Fendisc brand to attract players. And there is some significant experience here. 3 of the players from Fendisc were part of the Spanish team that competed in Royan in France for the World Ultimate Club Championships. Sorry, the World Ultimate Championships, Beach Ultimate Championships.
Yeah, World Championships of Beach Ultimate, I think they were at the time, yes. WCBU.
I'll get my tongue around that eventually. Where notably they got a sudden death loss against the USA. Spain, a force to be reckoned with at that tournament, and they bring that experience through to this Fendisc side, playing against FREEZZBEZZ from Belgium. 73 shirt of Davala. And the sideline trying to lead Stevens across the field, but the disc goes into the sand and it's another turnover.
I mean, that is so casual from Sparholz. Left open in that space and just the little foot pickup at the front of the end zone. FREEZZBEZZ looking a bit shell-shocked here.
Yeah, they don't know what's happening. It's all gone very, very badly wrong for them, and they're starting to trail away now. That's the 4th break in the row for the Spanish. FREEZZBEZZ scored the opening of the game, and they've not scored again since.
So the winner of this pre-quarter final goes on to face Murcia in the next round in the quarterfinals. So we could be seeing an all-Spanish affair there, as we've got a timeout on the pitch.
Yeah, just nice to have a moment to ourselves, catch our breath and talk about the tournament as a whole and the atmosphere down here, the Portimão party as we call it, the action in the Algarve, with myself, Tom Stiles and Benji Reese. And it really has been a very, very warm welcome, as we always get when we come to Portugal for these events. And you were sharing your skepticism about the Atlantic coast in October, Benji, but we shouldn't have worried at all, should we?
Yeah, more fool me. To be honest,
sun cream required, not so much of the long coats. And
I must admit, I'm practically living in the sun hoodie wherever I can, because even with sun cream, I know that I will just burn to a crisp. So keeping it covered is my best strategy here, I think.
The whole town welcoming the Frisbee community here, and there's another tournament on the same venue next week as well, the World Great Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships.
I thought it was just Grandmasters rather than Great Grandmasters.
Was there both? I think it's there both.
We had World Great Grandmasters last year out in Sardinia. I will double check that.
It's a world. There's a lot of G's.
There are a lot of G's, yeah.
I hope you've been enjoying the opening theme song to Ulti TV coverage out here in Portimão. Do you know who that was that did that, Benji?
I don't know, but I think they probably need some work. Sorry, Tom.
Yeah, a bit of fun. Got to get away from the desk somehow. Jonas Davala for FREEZZBEZZ now. The Belgians trailing 5-1 against the reigning silver medalists. Being beaten by Real 5, the Russian side.
Of course, Russian side's not in attendance this weekend, given the events in Ukraine. What a catch block from Sparholz.
That was bonkers. He was 5 feet off the ground, flying horizontally, and just casually picked it off ahead of the receiver. Fendisc earning the turns here. Jan Novak on the edge of the field. Sparholz there again, and they just exchange discs. Sparholz and Novak getting it done for Fendisc, but what a grab for that turnover in the middle of the field. FREEZZBEZZ not on the same planet at the moment.
That's what Sparholz gives you. He gives you that length and that range and the big playability, and utilizing the full wingspan, taking flight, flying through, not only with the block, but catching it as well, just to make sure there's no possible chance for FREEZZBEZZ. And then after the turn, just outside the end zone, cool as you like. And with Sparholz having got the block, he just wants to pop it to his fellow Austrian Jan Novak for the score. 6-1 now, after FREEZZBEZZ took a 1-0 lead.
Rogisat comes out of the end zone, gets the disc back now. Rolling disc to Robbie Wetz. And a flick back again to Luka Rogisat. The cuts have been well marked here by Fendisc. You can just feel another turnover coming. Can they survive the pressure? Wetz sends up a big launching disc high into the Portugal sky. well boxed out, but there's going to be a call on that. Ruben San Jose comes down with the disc in hand, but there's a complaint from Stan Van Hekke.
Yeah, just a bit of discussion underneath that. As mentioned, the winner of this game faces Murciélagos, so if Fendisc keep their margin, we'll see a Fendisc-Murciélagos quarter-final that I think was a semi-final last time out. Jet Set play the winner of the All-Irish affair between TDs and Sand Job. That's on one side of the bracket. On the other side, Salaspils play the winner of Ray Flying Oysters and Flying Angels Burn, and the winner of Mighty Hucks and Krakens will face Solaris of Poland, a team I think based mainly in Wrocław.
The international community has been really kept off the beach for the last couple of years because of the pandemic. This tournament was originally due to be played in 2020, May 2020, and then it was pushed back to October 2020, and then kind of put it on hold for a little longer than that.
Disc is going to go back here to the thrower, so everyone's going to try and find their previous positions to retake.
Robbie Wets on the disc, another opportunity. And that disc to Stan Van Hekke, not a bad shot really, but there was too much air underneath it. Gave plenty of time for Ruben San Jose to get down there, and a block does come now. And it's Ruben San Jose running through and taking that with two hands. Resetting back to Spiegel. Spiegel with a big pivot that gets a bit of contact but doesn't bother him. Gets it to Lopez. Lopez has got Itomendi coming out of the end zone. San Jose. Front corner, no problem. Sebastian Spiegel collects and takes the half for Fendisc. They have absolutely dominated this game.
Yeah, they've been phenomenal value for it, and this quite young developmental FREEZZBEZZ side is being given a clinic in Beach Ultimate here from Fendisc. The Santander side are just running rampant here. They got the disc on the first point of the game, gave it back to FREEZZBEZZ, they scored, and they had that point, a couple of points in as well to make it 2-1, where they turned over a couple of times. But otherwise, this Fendisc side is rocking and rolling here, Tom.
Yeah, Ruben San Jose running the show at the moment. 17 that caught the eventual disc at Itomendi. So that's half. There's no time to stop, but the teams do reverse whatever initial position they were at the start of the game. So FREEZZBEZZ started on offense, so Santander Fendisc will start on offense, coming downwind for the second half. Exactly the advantage that FREEZZBEZZ wanted to give them.
Yeah, you see there a very smart person on the sideline with a very large brolly. Just, given the conditions we've got here, a good call.
Yes, it is warm on the Algarve.
To the surprise of, well, I was going to say no one, but to me, actually,
yeah.
I grossly underestimated it.
Well, we were here in May 2019 on top of this same shipping container at the side of the field.
It was not as warm then.
It was so
nowhere
cold.
Near as warm.
I think
it was the wind that was the problem, I think.
Yeah. The light breeze here today, not troubling any of the teams. And FREEZZBEZZ with a slightly different defensive look here. They've obviously decided that whatever they were doing in the first half needs to change. That's probably wise.
I like it. There's no point, trotting the same thing out there again and again, given how confident Fendisc have proved to be against it.
Chasing the zone across. Spiegel now gets it across to San Jose. San Jose finds an open cut. And the same connection, Alvaro Itomendi with his third goal of the game.
I mean, that was so easy for them. FREEZZBEZZ trying to G themselves up, as are Fendisc, but yeah, I'll tell you what, if the second half continues in the same vein as the first, this will be over in a flash.
Yeah, Itomendi's third goal. San Jose has already got 1 goal and 3 assists, plus a couple of blocks as well. The 99 shirt for Fendisc. doing incredible amount of work. When he's not playing on a Frisbee field, he's an ICU nurse.
Blimey.
There's actually a couple of medics on the team. Jose Manuel Lopez in the number 11 shirt. He's a medical doctor. Disc hovering through the Praia del Rocha breeze and eventually comes to rest on this beautiful white sand.
There's the main man, Boris van der Log, TD of Tom's Tourney, official friend of Ulti TV, a legend.
We all stayed at his house when we were at Tom's Tourney. He was a brilliant host.
The one time I've been to Tom's Tourney, I also stayed at his house. It's one of those tournaments that somehow I've only been to on the one occasion. Here's a nice deep look for FREEZZZBEZZ.
They finally get the connection going. The deep shot finds the receiver, Raven Lemehiu, with his second goal of the game. And I think it was Dewala with the assist.
Have another look at it. It is indeed Jonas Dewala to the back of the end zone. I think maybe Sparholt's cheating a little bit underneath slightly because he feels he can make up the ground. He's got the height as well. But Dewala absolutely nails the throw. And Lemehiu catches his second goal of the game.
Yeah, getting the right amount of touch downwind is often the tricky thing that catches a lot of players out. It's getting the disc to travel slowly downwind and still have enough height and float to allow the receiver to be there to catch it. So the FREEZZZBEZZ D-line, we've not seen very much of them. Certainly the first half kept them very quiet.
Only their third appearance this game.
They're down here. Itamendi.
Again, another zone, slightly different this time. Looking to Arrowhead at the front.
Spiegel. Good flow. Itamendi. And it's continuing the cut. Spiegel. Oh, it's light work for this team. Jose Manuel Lopez. And good work from Alvaro Itamendi as well. But the eventual grab comes from Bastian Spiegel.
Cool, calm, confident. Love that FREEZZZBEZZ are trying something different. It's just that Fendisc proving too good for it. It's tricky when there's not much wind to play zone on the beach because for 5 people, it's a huge area to cover. And that time, Spiegel comes all the way through from the handler space, floats, ghosts past, and strides deep, and Fendisc, precision, accuracy on the throw.
We've got some locals that have joined us on the boardwalk behind the field as well, enjoying the Frisbee action. Players trying to find a bit of shelter from the sun. It is very, very warm.
I can't blame them.
Stevens gets it to Lemehiu. Fendisc buzzing around every pass at the moment. Vasquez on the mark, almost gets a fingertip touch to it, but it does manage to float free. Merlin Debana. Good left hand release. Gonna have to stretch and grab. What a grab in the end zone. Duvala's pass right into the space where only Raven Lemehiu could get it. The third goal of the game for FREEZZZBEZZ, and they've all gone by the way of Raven Lemehiu. What an incredible grab.
Yeah, it does feel like their offense has found a rhythm, and we've seen this actually, I think, on a fair few times this tournament. Teams maybe in the first half, because the game is so quick, if you get on a bit of a you have a couple of turnovers, all of a sudden the game can really spiral out of control. And you need that mini half-time break just to collect yourself and get back into rhythm, get back in sync. Here on the sideline, Debena finds Jonas Dewala and Raven Lemehiu. Unbelievable grab. A thing of beauty.
Glorious. Great flight, good form in the air. suitable sort of reaction when he hits the sand. Always, you know you've worked hard. The sand reacts very differently to grass when you hit it. In some ways it kind of absorbs the shock, but the fact that you never slide over sand, you always kind of dig in, can often make the impacts harder. Some people even suggest there's different layout form, standard layout form on grass is to kind of hit it with your chest.
But the risk of doing that on the sand is that you ruined yourself, I guess.
Yes, yeah, it would just completely flatten. So it's better to kind of go with the side of your body on sand. Not that I'm going to be the person you want to be listening to about that.
Do as we say, not as we do.
Good disc finds the Lopez sprinting free, an exchange of a couple of discs and then a blast across, and Fendisc are locked in tight synchronization with each other. FREEZZBEZZ just passive viewers of the disc flowing into the end zone.
Yeah, they are finding those spaces, they're hitting them quickly and flowing nicely from it, and then just outside the end zone they're utilising that inside channel. Lars van der Beek, he saw the opportunity here to maybe come steaming through and try and get the block, and he lays out, but it's out early enough and fired quickly enough that there's not really anything he can do. And another goal for Alvaro Iturmendi. I think that's his 4th of the game now, Tom. He's having a stormer out there. Although I'm not sure stormer is the right word, given, you know, I don't think I've ever seen any weather that's further from a storm.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It's disgustingly so, yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, hope we haven't checked the UK weather forecast, and to be honest,
I'm not going to.
Going to. We hope that. Oh, that is just a terrible throwaway. The first pass error from Merlin de Bena gives FREEZZBEZZ yet another opportunity to come in. The second half has been completely clean thus far. That's the first turnover of the second half.
Well observed.
Fendisc with a chance now to edge their lead further. Jimenez gets it back. And then it's into the end zone, and Alexander Sparholz takes it in, and another goal for the team in white.
Against a side like Fendisc, you can't really afford to be giving them, well, and apologies for the pun here, it's a bit of a freebie from FREEZZBEZZ.
Oh,
I know. I didn't feel good about it, and yet I did it anyway. Just a free turnover, and they're so calm and collected, even in the red zone. It's no urgency to have to force a scoring pass. Just a little pop to the open side there to Sparholz for the score.
Did you see who the assist was from, Benji?
Yes. Could I tell you? No.
No. Brilliant. So 11-3. It's games to 13 out here at the European Beach Ultimate Club Championships. And that means that Fendisc are within 2. We're also playing a 45-minute time cap, which we will not be troubling this afternoon.
Well, not unless FREEZZBEZZ can find some sort of comeback.
That would be the story, wouldn't it?
Even getting it to the cap would be, yeah, as you mentioned.
Interesting sagging defense from Fendisc there. Just taking away, not putting a force on that first pass, and then out of nowhere, Juan Gonzalez with the block, taking the disc away from Aaron Stevens to the turf, to the sand. And another chance. Fendisc getting it done quick. Casual, double happiness for Juan Fernandez. There can be only Juan.
Not the first time that they've called the number of the player who got the D to bookend the point. Brilliant layout. Got to do a lot of work, really charging underneath, but got the inside line and a brilliant clean layout block as well. And then on the turn, Fendisc get themselves set up. They take their time and simply throw to the hot hand, essentially, in Juan Gonzalez. Pick up from Vasquez, no hesitation. It's got the steps, got the separation, punching it in. 1 point of the win here, 12-3.
Gonzalez also played some of his ultimate in Norway with the team there, Pancakes.
Ooh, I could really go for some pancakes.
Fendisc within 1. FREEZZBEZZ pre-quarter has not gone the way they wanted it to go. They're struggling to find any options here, scurrying around, but it's a really loose, poachy zone and a really intelligent zone from Fendisc. Takes a lot of trust and a lot of knowledge to understand which spaces we're trying to take away. And as the disc advances, they go back to a 1-to-1, and contact on the disc from, is that Novak, getting fingertips and sending it out of bounds.
Well, this is how you know it's your day. I think because he knows the stall count's rising, he can really gamble, and the layout hand block from Jan Novak. Fendisc are on fire right now.
Fendisc, chance to take the game. Lopez, San Jose. Now it's with Vasquez. On the corner, who's there but Jan Novak? And again, the double happiness for Fendisc seems to be reigning strong. Jan Novak with a layout point block, and then going to the other end and scoring it as well. It's an absolute demolition here on the show field at the European Beach Ultimate Championships, and Fendisc advanced to the quarterfinals.
Remember that third point that was dragging on for a little bit? Fendisc turned it over twice. At that point, they'd had 3 turnovers in 3 points, and you said, yeah, I don't know if Fendisc in this form can trouble the top teams. And then they spite you by not turning over the rest of the game.
Yeah, pretty amazing performance in the end. And the score tells the exact story that has been the case. They've been brilliant, Fendisc. Got to draw attention to their defensive positioning. They were, really lively on their feet, but not marking 1-to-1. And FREEZZBEZZ just didn't seem to know where the spaces were, because as fast as it looked like there was a space and a player in it, there was a Fendisc player that kind of poached off and found a new position and took that away. Brilliant performance. Ruben San Jose with 1 goal, 3 assists and 2 blocks. We've got Jan Novak with 2 goals, 2 assists and a block as well. And Alvaro Itomendi with 4 goals. The stats spread around the other players as well. Fendisc, the second place team from the 2018 version of this tournament, back here in Portimão and looking very, very strong. Benji, is there anything else that you want to add about the tournament? Or?
I mean, it's been a wonderful time out here on the sand. Loving it. It's been a long 4 years since the last EBUCC out in Castelldefels, just outside Barcelona. I've been waiting for this one, brimming with anticipation, and so far it's delivered in, I was going to say spades, in buckets and spades.
Buckets and spades. Great punnage, Bench. Right, we'll be back in just a minute in the women's division with the Musiago Castellets versus Tequila Boom Boom. The Italians versus the Spanish. Not in that order. Castellets from Valencia.
Yeah, another Murcia-Lagos outfit.
And Tequila Boom Boom from Rimini, home of the brilliant tournament whose name I've forgotten. I don't know if I have forgotten the tournament.
Paganello.
Paga.
Have you ever been, you must have been to some Paganello in your day.
I've commentated at Paganello back when it was straight to DVD. Never made it to the cinema. That was the good old times. Well, thank you very much for joining us here. Fendisc advance. There's our camera crew saying hello. And there's our production crew saying hello as well. They all work so hard out here.
Right, I know.
Yeah, there's a big party, and there's Milan.
Stop that. You're on stream.
Let's no more of that, please. If you'd like to support the work of Ulti TV, you can do so, patreon.com/Ulti TV, or you can just smash the super chat button here on YouTube and make a donation. There's the crew waving at you. And from myself, Tom Stiles, and from Benji Reese, from all our Ulti TV crew, thanks very much for watching, and do stay with us all this weekend, and there'll be more coverage coming soon from the European Beach Ultimate Club Championships.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. Ulti TV.
We believe mixed is the best for the sport, for the world. That's why we're making a global showcase, starting in Europe, made in Amsterdam. Ulti League. ultileague.net.
Ulti TV, EBUCC lyrical.
Vielen Dank. Merci beaucoup.
Ulti.TV